when people are doing things that they don't love doing, they don't do them well, right?
Right.
And so for us, like, let us just take that off so you can go live your best role in what you like doing.
Hey, legacy builders, welcome back to Your Money, Your Rules, the podcast where real people share real strategies to build real legacies. Now, I'm your host, Teresa Villaruz, founder of the Thrive Movement, where we help overlooked and underestimated people finally break free from the hustle to survive cycle by teaching them how to grow their wealth in two places at the exact same time through Thrive banking and real estate backed investments that don't just build passive income, but fund purpose driven projects in communities that need them most. Now, this show is about one thing, and that is giving you the tools, the mindset, and connections to take control of your money and write your own rules. Now, today's guest is someone who embodies that no give up energy, a powerhouse mom who's quietly building something elite while raising her family and uplifting others along the way. She's helped real estate professionals stay organized, close deals, and most importantly, reclaim their time. But behind that business is a deeper story that I think it's going to hit home for a lot of you. Now, please welcome Alyssa Ritchie to the show. Alyssa, so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Wow, that was a great intro. No pressure, no pressure.
No pressure at all. We're just talking about you and your experience and what you're building. So no pressure. You're like the expert in this area, right? You're the expert of you.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this well, ever since I booked it, right? And then it was so great, like meeting you in person at the Owners Club immersion event and getting to hug you. So I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, that was amazing because, like a lot of the people that I've met in Owners Club, I've only seen, like, I met them initially through Zoom and
Yeah.
finally being in an area where we could actually see each other, hug each other, and like just, it feels like a lot more like the connection has been,
Like almost
yeah,
solidified.
it's solidified. Exactly. Yeah. Now, I want to like usually when I have people on the call, I really want to start about like where the beginning was, right? When did you first realize that pursuing excellence as not just being a mom, but as a business owner and an overall good human being was going to be your path, even if it wasn't the easy path?
Yeah, great question and a loaded question for sure. I think really growing up, I've always lived by like do unto others, the way that you want them to be done, the golden rule, right? And so really I've always tried to be a go-giver. I love people, which is funny because I'm an introvert, but when I'm around people, I'm extroverted, right? And so I've always tried to, be kind and like basically show Jesus through me, right? And just be that example. I think the entrepreneurial side of me more started when I started in real estate. So I started in real estate in 2015. I was working for a different company and then I got my license. And so I started out as a broker. And so for me, I don't know, that's when my story in real estate started, but I don't know if that was really solidified in me because we had been a part of other, business mentorships before then that really was like, okay, if you put in the work, you can have this abundant life, right? So I think it started a little bit before then, but getting into real estate is the journey that's helped solidify it. And I will say something maybe a little controversial. I think every day it solidifies it more, just because there's aspects that you find out or you're like, oh my gosh, that makes me super excited. And you just get this burst of energy to keep going. Like right now, after the Owners Club immersion, I'm in this burst of like, okay, let's grind it out. Let's, this next quarter solidifying for, the year end and the year after. And I'm a big believer in like seasons, right? There's a season of time to grind. There's a season of rest. I don't really believe in balance. And so for me, consistently showing up every day, whether it's a lot or a little, that's the important thing, right? Is so, there's a season where it's going to be pretty grindy, right? And then there's going to be a season where it's solidified and more systematic, but every day showing up, I think, is kind of what keeps me going. I know that was kind of a weird roundabout way to answer the question, but in real estate in 2015, but every day I get a little bit more like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So
Yeah. Speaking about, seasons and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You started out as a broker and
Mhm.
now you're a transaction coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So totally different, right? I quickly realized in the broker role that there were aspects I loved about it. I loved showing the houses to potential new clients, but there were other aspects I didn't love. The cold calling, more of that lead flow. And so for me, going more behind the scenes made more sense where I could love into those people and into other agents. I worked with a rainmaker for a while, which is a team owner. And so I got to really help run his team and like systematically put systems into place and love on those brokers who love to cold call. While me, I still got to love on those clients in a different way. So that's kind of where my ops TC journey started. And that was 2018, 2019. So I was a broker for a while. Um, but then that's kind of what solidified the TC journey. And then I had my son, stepped away for a while, right? And was like full mom mode. COVID happened and then kind of came back into it. But in a different way, right? Because COVID changed a lot of stuff. And so that team no longer existed. So I was doing things on my own. And then we found Pace Morby. And like that is almost like, and the rest is history, right? But got into his communities and really fell into the role of like, okay, TC and ops and, helping educate and help investors in that more support role. But also in a way, like I have a whole business behind it. So I am still visionary owner, but on being able to support investors.
Yeah, no, I love that. Now, you mentioned that you want to be a support role and transaction coordination. I feel like it's such an underrated, role and industry in general, right?
Yeah.
Can you walk us through what great TC actually does for a business owner for their peace of mind and profitability?
Yeah, for sure. So when you hire a TC, the easiest way I can put it is basically we become the main spoke in the wheel. We become the main contact person for your active deals so that you can go get more deals, right? We're focusing and working with title. We're focusing and working with the paperwork side so that someone who's really good at calling or closing, right, can continue to go do that and not be distracted by the paperwork and the nuance of the transaction. And so there's also different levels, right? Because then you kind of go more into the operation role, which, there's different nuances to that too, where they can take on more. We do both depending on what our clients need. And so we might be talking to sellers more than maybe a TC would. We might be helping, negotiate, terms and that kind of thing. So there's a scalability to that, right? Different levels, but we try and kind of do the boring stuff. Usually closers don't like paperwork and stuff. So we take that on so that they can go get more deals. So
Love that. So you take on the boring stuff
yeah.
and you allow business owners or like brokers to really focus on what they do best, right? And that is like getting more deals and closing more deals. Because it does, like if they're gonna juggle so many things from acquisition to closing and then everything in between, then they're just gonna spread themselves way too thin and they're not doing what they actually love, which is acquisition and closing.
Yeah, exactly. And usually, right, when people are doing things that they don't love doing, they don't do them well, right?
Right.
And so for us, like, let us just take that off so you can go live your best role in what you like doing. And so we'll take that on because we are really good at the paperwork side, right? That's stuff that we like to do. And so that just like lets them scale and do more volume. And then everyone on my team is also an investor. So we can kind of turn on that. I'm going to call it that light switch on and think more like an investor. So then we can have conversations and go, hey, is this really a good deal? Why are you buying this deal? What are you seeing in this deal? This is a red flag that I'm seeing. So we get to have those conversations with them because we're all investors too.
Yeah, yeah. It just really helps to have that second set of eyes to like make sure that everything is crossed and every red flags is surfaced, right?
Exactly. And we
Yeah.
see a lot of stuff as TCs. So we'll be like, hey, on this other deal, this is what happened. Let's make sure that that doesn't happen here because it's a similar situation. So,
Yeah, yeah. Now, you're not just a TC, you're also a business owner.
mhm.
So, a lot of people listening are juggling business and life as well, especially moms like you, right? What systems or boundaries have you helped you build a business without burning out or giving up on your bigger dream?
Yeah, great question. I am working on this every day. And like I said earlier, too, it's seasons, right? So right now, especially as a mom, right, we're in summer break. And so my days look a little different than they do during the school year. But my son is also on his summer vacation with family, not with us at home. So he is visiting family. So right now, especially after owners, like I'm like, okay, my schedule's out the window, right? But when he's home during the school, I have, hard boundaries of like, I'm done at this time unless it's an emergency, because then I'm with him, right? And so I think every season and every day is different, right? It's the consistency of showing up. And so I really just try and be mindful of my time. Now, granted, it's not always like that. Some days I am in here in the office more, and he knows it's not like that every day. And so, I think for me, the biggest boundary has been the time. I start at a certain time, especially when he's around, right? We're getting ready for school. If it's not an emergency, you don't need me yet, right? And so, for me, the biggest one is the time boundary. And then we do use different, like software project management systems. I also have a virtual assistant that helps with my calendar. And so I've started delegating certain things that I don't need to always touch. But everyone's business looks different. That's just how mine is, right? So we're balancing transaction coordination. We also have a dispo team. My husband and I do fix and flips. We're currently doing a bathroom remodel. We have the littlest one at home. Luckily, she's so little, she doesn't really understand time. So she just comes and hangs out in the office with us, depending on if we're in a meeting or not. And every day it just looks a little different. It's just consistently showing up for what we want to accomplish. So
Yeah, no, I love that. Just the thing with that too, when you set your boundaries, what even if like it's different every season, but setting that boundaries actually train others to respect, your time because obviously, yes, you're building a business, yes, you're still a TC, yes, you have like these fix and flips, but first and foremost, you're a mother, you're a wife, and family comes first. So love that.
totally. And I'm a firm believer. There's no true emergency in real estate. Nothing's truly on fire, and everything can be fixed with an addendum. So for me, like I'll have those conversations with clients too and be like, hey, I saw your text or whatever came through. I can deal with this in the morning because this is what I'm doing right now. So, and my team knows the same thing, right? They'll message me and they'll go, hey, this is non-urgent. You don't need to respond, but I needed to get it out of my brain. Okay, beautiful, right? And so now my team knows, hey, the oldest is gone. Let's get a little crazy for the next month. So I mean, yeah, it just everyone kind of respects that, and I think they also appreciate that too. But yeah, now we're back in a little bit of a grind season again, so it'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, now you're talking about grind season, and obviously, as an owners club, that's kind of like that's what we're built for, right? That's why we're an owners club, and the thing that we've talked about in owners club is creating your Mount Everest. Now, I know you mentioned that you're still defining your Mount Everest, which I love because not everyone has it all figured out yet, and that's okay, right? Um, but what are you most certain about right now when it comes to your calling and what you're building?
Yeah, so I think with the immersion, I got a little bit more clarity. I have the clarity of maybe what it is, how to make it happen, maybe not so clear, but that doesn't matter, right? Because it's a Mount Everest. And so my Mount Everest is to empower 100 working moms to change their mindset to owner so that they can make $1 million in real estate.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, you and I should chat soon and see how I can help you there. But we're connected with a lot of communities like Sub 2, Top Tier C, Gator, for example.
Mhm.
Now, everything like, we have all these big Mount Everest, and we know that it takes a team to reach the peak of that mountain, right? Now, can you share how, building relationships that you have right now has helped you grow to where you are? And maybe even a story of how the community, whether that's Owners Club or Sub 2 or Top Tier TC, has opened a door that you didn't expect.
Yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer in who, not how. And that is something, even though I believe in it strongly, I remind myself every day because I'm also right. For me, as an owner and a doer, right? I'm just like, oh, let me just do that versus, hey, I can delegate that, right? So something I believe in, but also have to work on every day. I think curating the relationships right, and especially meeting people in person like we did the last week was just amazing. But even out of that, I'm talking with another owners club member that also sees things the way that I see them, and when it comes to operations, for in running ops for other teams. And so we're actually going to probably partner and figure out how to make that happen faster and easier, right? Again, a who, not a how, because coming together and having the conversation and realizing, oh my gosh, you think the same way I do. And then conversation was like, well, you can do this. And I was like, well, why don't we just do it together? Right? Like there's no reason that I just need to hold on to this. And so hopefully we'll be building out more of an ops arm, which is something that the hub already offered, but we'll be offering it at a higher level and with more support, right? So bringing his background and my background together to really like come up with a robust system. I think that is like the most recent, story of even just like in the past week of like finding a who that also saw the vision in it. And then now it's, okay, how are we going to make this happen together? So
Yeah. So from that conversation, was there like an immediate need that popped in your head? Like, this is what we need and this is what we need to do immediately?
a little bit, yeah. So it was funny because we had talked about it, but then towards the end we were like, okay, let's do this together. And then during one of the talks, I wrote out a whole business plan. And then he left at the very end, and then on his flight he wrote out a whole business plan. And so we kind of have the two business plans that we're going to mold together and kind of see what our next action steps are when it comes to that. But yeah, it's going to be great. And it's finding the who's that are maybe better or have different knowledge and even a different area, right? He has operations experience in a different arena, not necessarily real estate. And I've always been in real estate. So bringing those together with my real estate ops experience and his, that we're just going to be able to, create something awesome for Owners Club and beyond. Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, you've talked about things about, figuring out what you truly need to be doing and what things you can delegate, and then the who, not how. Is there a particular role that you guys are currently looking for in order to get you to the first peak of your Mount Everest or whatnot?
Yeah. We're looking for, I would say, a couple roles, and I'm just going to put them out into the universe. We're maybe not quite ready for some of them, but we're looking for more callers for our dispo wholesale bird dog side. And then we're looking for, I definitely need an operator on my side to help operate the things right. And you probably heard me stand up and say and really channel my inner visionary, because at the end of the day, I am a visionary, but I also have the operation side. I need an operator so that I can go be that visionary and help create things, and then they can help make it happen. And then, we'll always need more TCs. So a lot of things, right? I've got a big org chart and a big mission to accomplish. So, yeah.
Yeah, great. Now, so if someone was, looking to jump into the TC world, you mentioned that's one thing that you're looking for, or even like any of those roles that you were looking for, how do they connect with you?
Yeah, the easiest way, and I will probably regret this, but the easiest way to get a hold of me is actually by phone, like text. My email is crazy and my VA manages that, which is awesome. So phone or email for me is easier. So Facebook Messenger, if you want to hear from me, don't message me on Facebook. I always miss it. So I don't know, do you want me to say it, or do we just want to put it in the chat? How do you?
We'll put it in the chat, but also one way to also stay connected with you and see how you are on your journey. Why don't you share, your Instagram or Facebook, where you share content, and they can follow what you're working on, what your journey is looking, and all that stuff.
Yeah. So my Instagram is at Alyssa _Rich, RITCH 1, the number 1.
Nice. And we'll also put that in the show notes as well. Now, this has been gold, Alyssa. And true to your money, your rules fashion, right? We want to make each episode actionable. So is there one thing or a homework that you would give our listeners that they can take action on this week so that they progress in their journey as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing would be, especially if you're starting in a new arena or something's new, find the who's that have done it, and really connect with them and just see how you can bring them value and how you can help in their vision, right, while you're learning, but really focusing on who and making those connections, because I think the connections are gold, and I guess it's a little two-part, but being consistent with that, right? So being consistent with finding who has more knowledge than you and how you can help.
Awesome. So thank you so much. Now, before we wrap up, if you're someone who's building a business while building a life like Alyssa, and you're ready to stop trading time for money, I want to invite you to learn more about the Thrive movement. It's how we help real estate investors and business owners grow wealth in two places at the exact same time without relying on the stock market roller coaster. Now, if you're that person, you can find more information on thrivebankingstrategy.com. Now, Alyssa, thank you so much again for your heart, your work ethic, and your story. And to our listeners, remember, take control, build legacy, and remember, your money, your rules.